Very warm welcome to you, Chocolate Cookies. Let's ask you a question today. Have you ever heard a crackhead say, I have no money, I'm not going to smoke today? No, they always find a way. So are you going to let a crackhead out hustle you today? Think about this. This is why I always think about the future. Even if we don't get the prediction price right, who cares about the price? It doesn't really matter. You can't control that. We don't know what timeline we're in. Are we going to get a $50,000 Bitcoin top? 80,000, 120, 200,000? I don't know what timeline we're going to get. I can tell you though, the people who are going to do the best in that scenario, no matter what happens, they're the people who are thinking about it today. Thinking about the future. Even if it comes in 2.5 years, who cares? Once you start to put your mind in the future, you start to think about how you can leverage it in a smart way. Now, there is obviously the nasty way of leverage is where you deposit your money on an exchange, Bybit, Binance, whatever it is, all the other ones that everybody shills, and you're going to get wrecked. How do I know you're going to get wrecked? Because I know the stats. That's your win rate, baby. Now, in the first year, your win rate's going to be maybe got like a 20% chance in your first year. But guess what? In year 2, it's the same odds of failing. So people who are consistently making it at the end, the odds of them go down. So in the next 24 months, it's going to be literally like, let's be conservative, 5% made it worth their while. Are you the 1 in 20? You never ask 20 people, one of you are, but the other 19 aren't. So we're not going to go down that route. I don't want you to take that gamble. 19 out of 20 people, no business in even doing this. And that 1 out of 20 person, it's going to take them 2 years to find out they should be doing it. By those 2 years, those 24 months, it could be at the end already. Imagine going through all that effort, hard times, trying to figure everything out. If you're profitable, doing all this day trading stuff, imagine finding out at the end they actually suck. While everybody who just thought about how to increase their cash position, they ended up killing it. Why? Because instead of thinking about how can they gamble more, they thought, all right, can I get an extra job? Can I get more cash raised from my existing job? Can I sell an extra car? Can I do some sort of refinancing? Do they have anything around the house that they can sell? And so if you want to make it in this game, that's where your mind has to be. No ifs or buts about it. Well, something interesting, want to think about, where are we heading next? If you go to every single Bitcoin cycle and you draw a Fibonacci from the very, very all-time high to its all-time low, it always comes back to the 50% line before the Bitcoin halvening. April 2024 is our Bitcoin halvening. What's the 50% line? It's $42,000. If this is 4 out of 4, so this is going to be the 4th cycle. It's happened every single time before. If we're going to repeat and be given an ounce of friendship, we're going to be 42,000 before April 2024. I don't know the mechanism that's going to take us there. If we will go and look at some spooky fractals, which we can, it implies, I know this is crazy, but it implies that the Bitcoin ETF is coming in October. I know this is spooky. I got this from Blockchain Backer. He used these weird fractals and he did it on XRP. And it predicted the SEC court case for the XRP. Yes, it did. I promise I'm not making it up. That's right, you heard me. He went and used a fractal from the early XRP days and it predicted the SEC case. I promise, within a month. Isn't that spooky? How? How did that happen? That's why Unicorn, Fairy Dust, Cosmos, God, Aliens, Puppet Master. I don't know what's going on. It's weird. It's weird. That's why, not really weird. Okay, let's just go. I've explained this to you because you like, subscribe, bell button, or press all the belly buttons, friends. I've explained to you many times what me and you consider as important story narratives is actually not as important as we think. What's more important is the cycle. What does cycle mean? It just means, as humans, which we are, there are just points in time where we want to buy stuff and take on risk, and we want to feel happy, and we want to get euphoric, and we want to get endorphins, and the neurotransmitters are firing off, and we get, dopamine rushes. There are also periods of time where that runs out, And no matter what comes out, we're going to feel sad, agitated, angry, fear. Now, I don't know where all of this is coming from. Don't even bother trying to figure it out. Moon cycles, planets, astrology, I don't know. Just know that it happens and you can see it on the charts. We don't even need to know where it comes from. That's irrelevant because we can't control it anyway. Like if I told you, okay, moon cycles, are you going to control the moon? You can't touch anything on the moon. What we can do is just look at how it's represented on a chart, humans and our perception of value. That's why it kind of just tells you this yellow line from the Mt. Gox Ponzi cycle. Once it's time to go, it's time to go. That's what it is. I was even telling everybody down here, look, man, we've been crying for way too long. We've been selling for way too long. Even though everybody was yelling, 10,000 Bitcoin, 10,000, 10K, 11K, 11K in pray, 11K in pray. Everyone was saying that. I'm just like, well, it seems like all the weak hands are out. Everybody's crying. They finally admitted defeat. Time to go the other way. Don't forget, in the background, as we're looking at these Bitcoin cycles and everything else, macro still works its way through its own cycle too. We are one, symbiotic the same. We had the US jobs data. It etched up to 3.8%. I've shown you the charts. The chart of unemployment data, it spikes up, comes down, cycles every single recession. So usually the unemployment rate goes too far, but right now it means that the US Fed's tightening is working according to them. All right, there's a lot of nuance. It's fake. There's a lot of money printing under the surface. Don't worry about it. We have to take it at face value. We don't even need to really know the truth. All we need to know is the crowd's going to get it wrong at the extremes. That's all we need to know. So when they're partying, we got to be crying. When they're crying, we got to be partying. Now, we've already had a massive period of crying, didn't we? We're still kind of crying today. So it makes you think about what happens now in the future. So what I believe is the market will probably price in no more rate hikes for good. But you know what's interesting, friends? This is interesting. Every single person you speak to and I speak to, they all say the same thing. The market players, everyone knows that when they start cutting, bad times are coming. Every single person knows this. Every single person has shown me on the S&P 500 chart. Go to any influencer. They've gone back to these periods and they go, look at this. Oh, you even know this, right? The Fed starts cutting here. Look what happens next. Bang, we crash. Every single time. They cut, we crash. They start cutting. They actually started cutting here where this arrow is. They start cutting. There's a little, look at this. There's a little pop of justice. Like, oh, wow, we went up 14% from the top. Doesn't matter. It's all over. They know, man. They know. Interesting as well. They started cutting around here. Yeah, they started cutting. And then we had the zombie virus, which like, it's weird that the zombie virus came, but something was going to come. The yield curve was already inverted. Everyone was expecting something. Then the zombie virus came. That's why a lot of people, they think that the zombie virus is unrelated to the cycle. They think it just, no, it was a black swan. It wasn't a black swan, man. It was pre-programmed somewhere. The yield curve was already inverted in 2019. Not sure if anybody knows this. Many people do know this. Everyone who pays attention. We knew something bad was coming. Now, we don't know what bad thing is coming. We knew something bad was coming. That's why, but it's so spooky. How are we to sit here and believe a freaking zombie virus is related to the yield curve, even though it was such a shock and unsurprising? Well, look, I don't make the rules. That's why I'm just telling you the cycles are the most powerful thing ever. Moon cycles, astrology, human cycles, who cares? These things work in cycles. Long-term, short-term, medium-term. There's no one that guides everything, but that's why. It's crazy, right? So they will start cutting again, but this is why it's, well, I don't want to say this time is different, but man, I haven't seen a single person out here telling me that, oh yeah, when they start cutting rates, it's going to be like really good. Every single YouTube and crypto influencer I've witnessed have said, uh-oh, when they start cutting rates, it means he's in a recession now. That means we've hit the tree. See, I was one of the first to start saying it, but now everybody knows it. Makes you wonder what happens next. We're going to have to go through periods of time where they have cut and everything just stalls, right? You know, you never know, man. It could even be what the market will do is, so eventually there is going to be a slowdown eventually, but it can just drag it out for like a long time. Just make a long time. Make you forget it. Make all the indicators reset, and then starts going up, and then exogenous shock. Right? It can always do something like this, but we're not going to know exactly what it is going to be. Even in the comment section, right? Look at this. Shout out to the Rational Hexagon. Market always dumps after the Fed pivots. Then we moon. You know, this is why it's a moving target, man. It's a moving target. All right, when we're the 10% side versus 90%, the 10% who are saying, uh-oh, rate cuts are bearish. Fair enough, but I'm just noticing there's too many of us know now. Too many of us know. Something's going to happen to screw everybody over. You know what's sad, though? In crypto, because we're like a commodity and you can constrict supply, if everybody's bearish, it's possible we go a parabolic up moonshot. But because the S&P 500 is so thick and it's worth, I think, 20 trillion or 40 trillion, whatever it is, the S&P 500 is so thick to move that the S&P 500 is not going to go, wow, let's go parabolic, you know. The most you're going to ever do, these are monthly candles, is like, oh, green. It's like plus 1%, plus 0.2%, like this. That's how it goes parabolic. Just to prove to you, think about this. This was the end of this was 2021. This was like the end part of it. This is the S&P 500 going parabolic. It's like, okay, maybe you're parabolic after July. Wow, you go up 9%. That's your parabolic nature. Congratulations, you go up an extra 9%. So that's why, man, friends, we're in the right industry. I'm telling you, stocks, it's all a Ponzi. Everything's a greater full Ponzi. They're all scams. We're getting scammed. Nothing's like crypto. Nothing. Not even close. And don't forget, so every year, September, the Betrayal Curse month. But it won't stop me trying to take out the bears. This cute bull charging this dude from behind. You know, you have to look at these and just, we've got to be appreciative that we have these types of uncertainty memes out there. You don't have this in the stock market, man. Because, you know, in crypto, we can affect the market. Not me and you, but on average, they can affect the market by any new invention. We're like, woohoo, we're going up, new narrative. They don't have that in stocks. They don't have that at all. You know what they need in stocks? They literally need the Fed to print money and say, we're going to buy the stock market to make it go parabolic. That's all they have. We don't have that obstacle on our way. That's how we know we're still early. We're not as early as we could be, of course, but we're still in a much more better position than the boomer stonk marketers. And it really might just come down to a simple chart like ETH BTC. Ethereum represents smart contract Ponzi land. Bitcoin represents super conservative digital rock land. The ETH BTC ratio has not collapsed in a long time. If you want to check out how it's been literally sideways, oh my gosh, 861 days. In the previous bear market, just to show you how volatile obviously Ethereum was, Ethereum dropped 89, 90% against Bitcoin, ETH BTC. So ETH itself dropped 94% against US dollar from $1,400 to like $83. This has gone sideways. This just tells me the world is choosing smart contracts. The world doesn't want to stay in super conservative, boring digital rock, even though it's needed and it's appreciated and we need it to be the same. This is telling me that we are gearing up for something big. Now, of course, we can go down to zero any single time. I don't want to jinx anything, but this is just telling me people want yield, man. Why do you even come into Ethereum? There's yield. There's burning of ETH. People use the coin. You play around with it. You can put it in leverage systems and use it as collateral. All these DeFi, Ponzi, Lego stuff. That's what people want. Is it optimal? No. Do people want it? Yes. So we're not going to argue. At the end of the day, friends, you know what we're here for. We're here for the price, the number go up. The cycle seems to be playing out as it is. Every single narrative that we think is important. You know what the market and the charts say? They're giving us the middle finger. They say, we're actually not that important. Every single narrative you think is super critical ain't that critical. What's critical is time, and we need more time. Like, subscribe, bell button, all. Tell mum and dad we love and appreciate them. Appreciate all the time we have with them. Catch you in the next one.